pray that God will line me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot and take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, I pray that y'all are like, forgive a nigga for like the misstep and I can get back to my true path. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years.
How are you doing today, my lazies? As you can see, that was the J. Cole apology. Now, before I get into this, I just want to bring light to a few things. One of those things is, how do I feel about the big three? Well, as far as them, what I would say is, Kendrick is definitely the best lyricist, Drake is definitely the best artist, and J. Cole is the best neutral. He's sonically better than Kendrick, but lyrically better than Drake. If I had to rank the big three, I would say Drake is definitely the weakest of the big three because he's done way too many projects, which made it easier for his legacy to fall off. Kendrick did the least amount of projects, so his position is the most secure for bragging. And J. Cole is literally in the middle because he doesn't have bad projects, but the culture is too aggressive for his positive attitude. Now, speaking to the controversy, this all starts with Kendrick dissing the big three. Kendrick literally came back saying that he was waiting for his competition to finally catch up so he can tear them down, fattening up the stock before butchering. And then we have J. Cole apologizing for responding, which means he took the bait, released a fire warning shot that got the entire hip-hop community excited. Whether you were a Kendrick fan or a Cole fan, you were excited that this is finally a competition worth having in the hip-hop community. And then you have Drake sticking to subliminals, only dissing Kendrick from a distance because he's already been exposed too many times and in too many rap beefs. He completely understands that he can't hang with Kendrick lyrically and has even admitted it more times than not. Now, with all that being said, how do I feel about the apology? Well, J. Cole apologizing is a hard cop-out for many reasons. He said he couldn't sleep comfortably, which means he didn't like the pressure of being pushed to prove himself. The state of hip-hop is already in a disarray due to the allegations, schemes, and terrible mainstream artistry. He's always been about exposing the man, so it makes sense that he doesn't want to become a distraction tactic for the rich to blind the poor, but also makes him a hypocrite for even inviting the challenge for all of these years. By the way, I'm a huge Cole fan, and I was extremely disappointed. See, the beef wasn't personal and not aimed to kill anyone, at least as far as his part in the beef. See, I believe that he shouldn't have let the internet dictate whether he wanted to continue because the internet has been against him from the start, even with his Lil Pump beef. See, this whole competition could have elevated hip-hop so that the new generation would have something to aspire to. With this cop-out also comes with the fact that this makes all of Dreamville look weak now, even though we know there are some heavy hitters on the team that would gladly take his place. See, this battle, whether won or lost, would have finally put the woke, soft, and mumble artists back in the lab as they see titans still elevating their pens. This would have been the perfect advertising for his project. But now, this will definitely tank the sales. This will truly be a fall off. See, this could have awakened more enthusiasm for a collab project after the beef was done, or the release of the one that was speculated to already have been created between J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Moving on to Drake, he's been surprisingly less disappointing than Cole at the moment. I don't believe that he has the ability to win or even match up to Kendrick's artistry as of right now, because his latest projects have been major flops. In fact, AI artists are making harder songs, raps, and projects than him currently. In fact, Drake has the perfect opportunity to sign those AI artists to elevate his own body of work and business prowess. People already think he has a ghostwriter, so signing these AI artists and even collabing with them on songs will have elevated his bank to new heights, and he would have gained more fans from different parts of the art. See, one thing no one's gonna take from him is that he has the ability to make hits, but he lacks the ability to make lasting art. His peers have made projects that will stand the test of time, and they focused on quality rather than quantity. Him putting on the mumble rap wave was a cop-out, as it actually hurt his legacy so much more now that he's the only one of the big three that doesn't have an apprentice now. And just to make this very clear, I'm not saying that Drake doesn't have any songs or projects that will stand the test of time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying overall as a whole, his legacy is pretty lacking compared to the other two. Moving on to Kendrick, his main issue is consistency. Like Cole said, he barely has any projects, even though they were all great. He could have cultivated a massive amount of apprentices to take his place while he was on hiatus so he could keep the culture alive. But he would rather selfishly prove he's the best of his peers rather than save the genre he claims to care so much about. Even though he's the best of the big three and is now cemented as the GOAT of hip-hop officially, as he's the only rapper to make his competition tap out before he even gets the chance to diss him, he doesn't truly have a legacy yet. He has 4 amazing projects, but his best songs that are the most memorable are his controversial diss tracks to stir debates in the hip-hop community. He has awards that no one will care about, just like Drake, after they fully retire. He has an apprentice, but only started truly cultivating them after his hiatus. So he took the shine away from them instead of building his legacy from it. Now, to kind of give a little shine to what I mean by the whole legacy thing, let's look at some of the greats. Do you know why people say things like Eminem, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Nas, etc. are the greats? They cultivated a legacy and still continue to breathe life on the hip-hop world without having to resort to drastic controversy. Yes, all of them have been in crazy beefs and cemented violent legacies, but they've also created a culture within hip-hop. For example, Wayne has to be the biggest GOAT because he cemented a legacy of apprentices that could not be touched in their fields for a long time, and they still barely have competition. See, Nicki is the best female rapper and can still compete with the younger generation. Drake is cemented as the most profitable artist, almost comparable to Michael Jackson and Prince as far as influence. Tyga was the god of party music until he retired, and he cemented a legacy that was so powerful that it carried over to the next generation of his artists. Speaking about another GOAT, Dr. Dre has to be the most talented GOAT. He created the hype for Snoop, Eminem, and Kendrick. He built lasting businesses outside of hip-hop that still help the community of music, showing he can stay in his lane and create a new lane within that lane while creating untouchable monster artists. And then we have someone like Jay-Z, who has to be the most respected GOAT because he has a long history of putting so many people in a community on to the point he might as well be known as a gatekeeper. Now, hearing all that, what exactly is the legacy of the Big Three? Well, Kendrick stirs controversy and was the first rapper to win a non-music award for his poetry. But that can be overtaken by another artist with some effort. Drake has a vast catalog of songs that make him money by default because of the quantity, not the quality. J. Cole built himself an empire and the best lasting legacy with Dreamville, but toppled it himself by misleading the reason for why he didn't want to go through with the sparring match. None of them, except Cole, have a legacy building team with junior titans that can elevate their legacy. Kendrick and Drake are too big and too intimidating to carry teams. Hence why you don't see them with teams that last or get as much buzz as Dreamville. Now let's call a spade a spade. The internet was going to say Kendrick won regardless of how hard the other two went. J. Cole drops one of the cleanest warning shots and the internet discouraged him. Drake has the biggest and most flip-floppy fan base, so even though he's the most likely to get the most buzz, the state his career is in right now, with everyone turning on him due to his success, he also has the highest chance of getting dragged. Kendrick is the only one in a comfortable lead as he's played his part in such a way to the point that it's impossible to beat him, whether you actually murder him on the track or not, because he's the underdog. For not dropping for so long, he was inducted by highly influential entities in the hip-hop world as the GOAT. He has the best accolades due to him focusing on quality, not quantity, and the internet is already on his side no matter what. And now it's officially cemented that the internet stands Kendrick because of Cole's apology. I'm at a loss for words on the state of hip-hop right now. Kendrick and Drake will be the only ones left in the Big Three, and Cole will definitely lose a massive amount of fans and buzz for his projects. I understand what he was trying to do, but this was not the time to double back on the competition. Even losing the battle would cement you higher on everyone's list. No matter what you say from this point on, people are going to drag it. I harbor no ill will towards any of the Big Three and love them all equally because they all bring a completely different vibe to the table. You want MLK, you listen to Cole. You want Malcolm X, you listen to Kendrick. You want vibes with hits, listen to Drake. These are the titans of the rap game, so I have nothing but respect for all of them. I would have enjoyed the competition between them, or even a joint project with all three, which would break the internet and answer the question of who's the best all in one. Sadly, everyone takes competition out of context and the internet is too toxic for things not to get taken out of context, causing more violent or passive behaviors as seen with this ruined competition. In all honesty, Cole didn't ruin the competition. The internet did, and Cole sadly took the bait. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sure I'll get an earful saying I disrespected all of them in some way or another, even though I love all of these artists. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, stay lazy.